Let's be honest, most men completely miss the signs. You think you're seeing a woman's interest, but 90% of the time you're just guessing. And the worst part, she knows it. She knows exactly how to make you notice her without even saying a word. What I'm about to reveal will change the way you see interactions, attraction, and female psychology forever. If you've ever wondered why some women make you obsessively think about them while others don't, you're about to get answers that most men will never hear. Here's the truth. Women are masters at signaling interest subtly. And it's not about the obvious flirtation you see in movies. No, it's far more powerful than that. It's in the little things, the glances that linger just a beat too long, the way her tone changes when she speaks to you, the tiny adjustments she makes to her appearance, but not in front of you when she thinks you're noticing without realizing. These are not coincidences. They're calculated, instinctive moves that trigger your attention and desire. You might be thinking, she smiled at me. She must like me. But that's the surface. Real attraction runs deeper, and it's built on subtle psychological triggers. Women know that men respond to tension, mystery, and validation, so they create moments that pull you in, testing how much effort you're willing to give, how much you notice, and how invested you are. And here's where most men fail. They either overreact or miss it entirely. That's why understanding these hidden signals isn't just interesting. It's essential if you want to decode her intentions. Listen carefully. When a woman wants you badly, her actions are layered. There's a pattern you can't fake because it comes from instinct, not conscious thought. She will mirror your energy, but selectively matching your mood, your humor, your pace. She'll find reasons to be near you, even in crowded rooms. And when she touches you, accidentally, it's never really an accident. Every glance, every laugh, every small gesture is a psychological breadcrumb guiding you toward the realization that she desires more than just friendship. And don't underestimate the power of absence. When she pulls away slightly, just enough to make you notice, it's not manipulation, it's a test. Women know that desire is amplified by uncertainty. They don't need to chase. They need to see if you're paying attention, if you're willing to step up, and if you respond correctly, she'll escalate her interest in ways that will make your head spin. This is why men who understand these hidden signs always have an edge. They're seeing the truth while others are blind. So if you've ever felt confused by a woman's signals, if you've ever wondered why some women make you think about them nonstop while others fade away, you're in the right place. Because what I'm about to show you is not about generic dating advice. It's about understanding her mind, her instincts, and her deepest, most primal signals. Pay attention. The next moments you spend watching this could change the way you see attraction forever. The first hidden thing women do when they want you badly isn't in her words. It's in her energy. It's in the way she unconsciously mirrors you, your body language, your tone, even your pauses in conversation. You think it's coincidence when she leans in, laughs when you laugh, or tilts her head the same way you do, but it's not. It's an instinctive signal, and most men completely miss it because they're looking for obvious signs. She doesn't need to say it. Her subconscious is screaming it for you to notice. Here's why this is powerful. Mirroring creates a sense of connection without her ever having to force it. Your brain subconsciously registers familiarity, comfort, and attraction, and you start feeling closer to her without realizing why. That slight echo of your gestures, your words, your energy, it's her way of telling you, I notice you, I want you. And if you're tuned in, you feel it too. You feel the magnetic pull, the tension that keeps you thinking about her long after she's gone. But here's the subtle catch most men overlook. She does this selectively. She won't mirror just anyone. She reserves this unconscious mimicry for the ones she desires. That's why sometimes you notice it and sometimes you don't. It's intentional, and it's not always constant. There will be moments when she disengages, pulls back slightly, even seems distant. Don't panic. That's part of the game she's playing instinctively. She's testing if you're attuned enough to notice the patterns, if you're willing to invest attention and energy in response. Another hidden signal is the way she controls eye contact. It's not about staring at you like in a cheesy romance movie. It's fleeting, teasing, sometimes even shy, but always calculated. That glance that lingers a little longer than normal. the way her pupils dilate when she's interested, the tiny smile that follows eye contact. All of these are subconscious cues that you're on her radar. Most men miss these because they're focused on words instead of the deeper signals that women instinctively send. And let's not forget her voice, the tonal shifts that reveal desire when she's around you. Her voice may become softer, or it may carry a subtle, playful edge. It's not random. It's a psychological magnet. It draws attention without her having to overtly state her intentions. Women know men respond emotionally before logically. That's why these small adjustments, mirroring, eye contact, vocal tone, can create tension, desire, and curiosity in you, almost like a puzzle you feel compelled to solve. So, if you're thinking that noticing interest is about grand gestures, think again. The real signals are quiet, precise, and psychologically manipulative in the most natural way. She's testing your awareness, your perception, your instinct. And if you miss these cues, you'll never see the full depth of her desire. But if you catch them, you unlock a power most men never realize exists: the ability to recognize true attraction before it's even spoken. The second hidden thing women do when they want you badly is something almost every man completely misinterprets. It's not obvious, it's not loud, and it's rarely intentional, but it's devastatingly effective. She uses absence as a weapon, not in a cruel way, but in a deeply primal psychological way that taps directly into your desire. When she steps back just enough to make you notice, your brain suddenly shifts. You feel tension, curiosity, even a subtle ache to be around her again. That pull, it's not magic, it's biology. Think about it. When a woman subtly withdraws attention, she's testing your awareness and your investment. She's asking a silent question. Do you see me? Are you willing to make an effort? Most men respond the wrong way. They panic, they chase, they overcompensate. And in doing so, they destroy the subtle tension she's creating. But if you understand the strategy, if you maintain composure, this absence doesn't create frustration. It amplifies desire. She wants to see if your attention is consistent, if you can handle the emotional push and pull without losing yourself. Here's the psychological mechanism behind it. Humans are wired to value what is scarce. When something or someone is slightly out of reach, your brain interprets it as more valuable. Dopamine spikes, obsession builds, and women instinctively know this. That's why a fleeting message, a delayed reply, or a casual withdrawal of energy can make a man think about her nonstop. She doesn't need to say she wants you. She creates the conditions where you feel her desire before it's even stated. This isn't about manipulation. It's about instinct and attraction. Women know that true desire is not about immediate gratification. It's about creating a sense of longing. When she disappears briefly, your mind fills in the gaps. You analyze her behavior, replay conversations, wonder about her intentions, and while you do that, her influence grows stronger. That's why men who understand this secret feel like they're in a mental chess game with women. They are, even if they didn't realize it. Another key aspect of this hidden signal is contrast. She pairs absence with attention in ways that make her presence feel electrifying. When she returns after a short withdrawal, her focus on you seems more intense, her laughter more captivating, her energy more magnetic. That push-pull dynamic creates a tension that hooks men on an emotional level, often without them even consciously recognizing why. You think you're just enjoying her company, but really you're responding to a deeply embedded psychological rhythm she's setting. So, if you've ever felt yourself obsessing over a woman who sometimes disappears, sometimes reappears with an intensity that takes your breath away, now you understand why. It's not coincidence. It's not manipulation in the malicious sense. It's instinct. And if you learn to recognize it, to remain composed while absorbing the signal, you gain a powerful advantage. You see her desire clearly while other men remain blind to it, endlessly chasing signals they'll never decode. The third hidden thing women do when they want you badly is subtle, almost invisible, but it hits men harder than any obvious flirtation ever could. It's called selective attention, and it's designed to make you feel like you're the only man in the world who matters. She notices the tiniest details about you, the way your hands move when you talk, the jokes you think no one hears, the things you care about but never broadcast. And then, without making it obvious, she acknowledges them, just enough to make your mind obsess, just enough to make your heart race. Here's the key. Selective attention is not random. She isn't just being nice, she's signaling interest without words. By noticing what others overlook, she makes you feel understood in a way you didn't even realize you were craving. Your brain interprets this as validation, as connection, and as desire. Suddenly, small actions, a remembered preference, a thoughtful comment, a shared laugh become a magnet. You feel seen, and in doing so, you start craving more of her attention, more of her presence, more of the connection she's subtly weaving. Men often fail to notice this because they're looking for overt signs, flirtatious words, lingering touches, dramatic gestures. But the truth is, these subtle acknowledgments are far more potent. They create intimacy without declaration. She doesn't have to say, "I like you," because every tiny act of attention communicates it louder than words ever could. And here's what makes it psychologically powerful. It taps into your desire to be valued, to be recognized, to feel unique. She knows that if she makes you feel special in ways no one else does, your mind will fixate, your attention will stay, and your feelings will deepen. Another layer of this hidden strategy is timing. Women will often give this selective attention in bursts, alternating with moments of neutrality. This push-pull amplifies its effect. You'll notice her focus when it's there and then feel its absence when it's gone. Your brain becomes addicted to the rhythm, craving that acknowledgement, trying to decode when it will return. That's why men often describe these women as mysterious or irresistible, because they are on a deep subconscious level, orchestrating emotional tension that your mind responds to automatically. And it's not just about words or gestures, tone, body language, subtle smiles, even how she reacts when you're speaking. All of it is calculated by instinct, the way she leans in, the tiny head tilt, the slight laugh at something only you understand. All of these signal that she's attuned to you. If you're paying attention, you recognize the pattern immediately. If not, you remain oblivious, missing one of the strongest signals of desire a woman can give. So, if you've ever felt completely captivated by a woman who seems to see you in a way no one else does, now you understand why. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's a deep, instinctive psychological signal, a way of saying without words, "I want you and I notice you in ways no one else does." And if you learn to recognize it, you'll see her desire clearly, while others remain blind, endlessly guessing and losing themselves in uncertainty. The fourth hidden thing women do when they want you badly is one of the most powerful yet most overlooked, creating emotional triggers without you even noticing. She knows exactly what pulls at your heart, what sparks curiosity, and what makes you feel alive. And she uses it. It's not manipulative in a cruel sense. It's instinctive. When a woman senses your emotional buttons, she nudges them subtly, making you feel exhilarated, challenged, or even slightly unsettled, just enough to keep your attention locked on her. Think about the moments that stick in your memory, a fleeting compliment that hits deep, a playful tease that makes your pulse spike, or a question that forces you to reveal something personal. These are all emotional triggers. They're carefully or instinctively placed in the flow of interaction to make you feel connected, excited, and slightly off balance. Your brain doesn't process it logically. It just knows you want more. And when you seek more, she's already one step ahead, deepening the EI attraction without ever saying a word. Here's the secret most men miss. Women don't always trigger emotions through grand gestures. It's in the smallest moments, the subtle tone of her voice when she laughs at something only you understand, the fleeting look that feels like it penetrates your thoughts, the brief pause in conversation that leaves you thinking long after she's gone. All of these are triggers that your mind responds to instinctively. You feel an emotional high without realizing why. That's why some women leave you thinking about them nonstop. They've carefully orchestrated your emotions to pull you in. Another layer of this hidden behavior is selective vulnerability. She may share a small personal story of fleeting insecurity or a private thought, but only with you. This is not accidental. By revealing parts of herself selectively, she creates a psychological bond that feels intimate and rare. Your brain equates this with trust and closeness, and suddenly you're emotionally invested. You feel needed, wanted, and challenged all at once. And when combined with her subtle absence, selective attention, and energy mirroring, the effect is almost irresistible. Most men fail here because they focus on the superficial, on physical attraction, on compliments, or obvious flirtation. They don't see the emotional architecture she's building. They don't recognize that each carefully timed laugh, glance, or slight withdrawal is a piece of a larger puzzle designed to make you obsess, to pull you closer, and to make her presence unforgettable. Emotional triggers are invisible to those who aren't paying attention, but to the man who understands, they're undeniable. They're the language of desire that women speak without ever using words. So, if you've ever felt yourself thinking about a woman long after an interaction, feeling a rush of excitement at the tiniest signal, or obsessively decoding her behavior, now you know why. It's not coincidence. It's not imagination. It's instinctive psychology designed to make you desire her, seek her attention, and invest emotionally before you even realize it. And if you understand this, you can finally see the hidden truths in her actions that most men will forever miss. By now, you should be seeing the pattern. Women who want a man badly don't need to spell it out. They create a web of subtle signals, emotional cues, and psychological triggers that pull him in without him even realizing. The fifth hidden thing is playful testing. She'll tease you, challenge you, or even disagree with you on purpose. It's not about conflict. It's about gauging your confidence, your response, and your ability to engage without losing control. Every playful challenge is a window into your psyche, and if you respond correctly, it deepens her desire. The sixth hidden thing is intentional proximity. She finds reasons to be near you, whether physically through shared spaces or virtually through texts and messages. It's subtle, never forced, and almost always strategic. She knows that repeated exposure creates comfort and emotional attachment. That lingering presence, that feeling that she's always around without being clingy, is a silent magnet. Most men overlook it, thinking it's coincidence, but it's one of the strongest subconscious signals of desire a woman can give. And the seventh hidden thing is curated vulnerability. She shares personal moments, confides small secrets, or reveals fleeting insecurities, but only at precise times when it creates emotional resonance. By giving just enough insight into herself, she makes you feel trusted, needed, and emotionally connected. Combine this with mirroring, selective attention, absence, emotional triggers, playful testing, and intentional proximity, and you get a psychological blueprint that drives men almost uncontrollably toward her. It's not manipulation, it's instinct. It's her way of saying, "I want you," without ever having to say it. Now, here's the reality most men never understand. If you notice these patterns, if you recognize her subtle cues, you gain a level of clarity that others will never have. You stop guessing, stop misinterpreting, and start seeing her desire as plainly as a neon sign. And that understanding gives you an advantage, not just in attraction, but in any interaction with women. You see the truth that most men miss, and you respond from a place of awareness rather than confusion. But here's the catch. Recognizing these hidden signs isn't just about observation, it's about reflection. You have to pay attention, notice patterns, and understand your own reactions. Women who use these behaviors aren't playing games for fun. They're testing instincts, attraction, and emotional engagement. The moment you become aware, you stop being a passive player and start being an active participant in your own attraction dynamic. So, here's my challenge to you. Think about the last woman you were obsessed with, the one whose signals you couldn't quite decode. Which of these 7 hidden things did she do without you even noticing? Write it down, analyze it honestly, and tell me in the comments which one had the strongest effect on you and why. If this opened your eyes, like this video, subscribe and share it with a friend who needs to understand these hidden truths. Women aren't always obvious about what they want, But if you know where to look, the signs are undeniable. Pay attention, stay aware, and you'll never be blind to desire.